Loneliness is a feeling that we all experience at some point in our lives, regardless of age, background, or social status. For some, it may come in short, fleeting moments, perhaps when they're far from home or when they've lost a loved one. For others, loneliness may become a constant companion, gnawing at the edges of their daily existence. It's important to note that loneliness is not simply being alone. You can be alone and feel content, even fulfilled. On the other hand, you can be surrounded by people and still feel utterly disconnected. The key difference lies in how connected or disconnected we feel from the world and the people around us. In this video, we'll explore how to understand and address loneliness in its various forms. More than just temporary relief, we'll guide you through long-lasting strategies to build meaningful relationships, develop self-acceptance, and ultimately transform loneliness into an opportunity for growth and personal transformation. By the end of this journey, you'll have practical tools to help you alleviate your loneliness and start creating a life filled with connection and purpose. And remember, if this video resonates with you, make sure to subscribe, like, and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Together, we can combat loneliness. Firstly, understanding. Loneliness in depth. Loneliness can feel like an abstract, overwhelming emotion, but in reality, it is a multifaceted experience that affects people in different ways. To better understand how to overcome loneliness, we first need to break it down and explore its various types, causes, and effects on our well-being. 1.1 Types of loneliness. Not all loneliness is created equal. Here are some of the most common types. Social loneliness. This occurs when you feel a lack of social engagement or companionship. It's the feeling of being left out or disconnected from your social group, community, or even family. Social loneliness can happen when you move to a new city, lose a close friend, or experience a significant life change such as retirement. Emotional loneliness. Emotional loneliness happens when you feel disconnected from people on a deeper emotional level. You may have acquaintances, co-workers, or even a romantic partner, but you feel as though they don't truly understand or connect with you emotionally. This kind of loneliness often strikes when we're not being authentic with others or ourselves. Existential loneliness. This is perhaps the most profound form of loneliness. It stems from a sense of isolation that arises from the human condition itself. It's the feeling that no one else can truly understand your inner world, and it can lead to a deep sense of alienation, even when you're surrounded by loved ones. This type of loneliness is often tied to larger existential questions about life's purpose, meaning, and death. 1.2 Common causes of loneliness. Loneliness doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's often the result of life circumstances, thought patterns, or changes in our social networks. Some common causes of loneliness include life transitions. Big life changes, such as moving to a new city, changing jobs, or losing a loved one, can trigger feelings of loneliness. These transitions often disrupt our social connections, leaving us feeling disoriented and isolated. Relationship breakdown. Whether through divorce, a breakup, or drifting apart from friends, the loss of significant relationships is a major contributor to loneliness. Social anxiety or shyness. For some, social interactions are intimidating, making it difficult to form new connections. This anxiety can lead to isolation and chronic loneliness. Aging. As people age, they may experience loneliness due to retirement, the loss of friends or a spouse, or a lack of mobility. It's not uncommon for older adults to experience social isolation, especially if they live alone or in assisted living facilities. 1.3 The psychological and physical effects of loneliness. Loneliness can have significant impacts on both mental and physical health. Mental health. Loneliness has been linked to an increased risk of depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions. When we feel disconnected from others, it can be easy to fall into a cycle of negative thoughts and emotions. Over time, chronic loneliness can even alter brain function, making it harder to form social bonds in the future. Physical health. Research has shown that loneliness can have physical consequences as well. It can lead to high blood pressure, weakened immune function, and an increased risk of heart disease. Some studies have even suggested that chronic loneliness can shorten life expectancy, similar to smoking or obesity. 1.4. The difference between loneliness and solitude. Solitude and loneliness are often used interchangeably, but they are quite different experiences. Solitude is a choice. It's the act of being alone, often to rest, reflect, or recharge. Solitude can be a positive experience, allowing us time to connect with ourselves, pursue hobbies, and think deeply. Loneliness, on the other hand, is an unwanted feeling of isolation. It's the emotional pain that comes from feeling disconnected, even when surrounded by people. Understanding this distinction can help us navigate loneliness more effectively and find moments of joy in solitude. Secondly, embracing self-acceptance. One of the most powerful ways to combat loneliness is through self-acceptance. Often, loneliness is compounded by feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, or a belief that we are unworthy of connection. By learning to embrace and accept ourselves as we are, we can build a foundation of self-love that makes it easier to connect with others. 2.1. The importance of self-worth. At the root of many people's loneliness is a lack of self-worth. When we don't value ourselves, we may believe that others won't value us either, leading to isolation. To overcome loneliness, it's essential to recognize that your worth is inherent. You do not need external validation to be worthy of love, connection, or happiness. A practical exercise to boost self-worth is writing down your strengths and positive qualities. Reflect on your unique talents, qualities, and past successes. Even if you feel like you don't have much to offer, this exercise can help you realize that you are valuable just as you are. 2.2. Developing self-compassion. Self-compassion is the practice of treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. When you make a mistake, face rejection, or feel lonely, it's easy to be hard on yourself. But self-compassion allows you to recognize that everyone experiences loneliness and that it's a natural part of being human. Start practicing self-compassion by catching your inner critic. Notice when you're engaging in negative self-talk and try to replace it with compassionate, understanding language. Instead of saying, "I'm so unlovable," try saying, "I'm going through a tough time, but that doesn't mean I'm unworthy of love." 2.3. Self-reflection and journaling. Journaling is an excellent tool for self-reflection, helping you explore your thoughts and feelings about loneliness. Set aside time each day to write about your experiences. What triggers your feelings of loneliness? Are there patterns in your thoughts or behaviors that contribute to your sense of isolation? Through self-reflection, you can gain insight into your loneliness and begin to make changes. 2.4. The power of mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness and meditation are powerful practices for overcoming loneliness. They allow you to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment, helping you become more aware of how loneliness manifests in your mind and body. By practicing mindfulness, you can learn to sit with your loneliness without trying to escape it. Instead of viewing loneliness as something negative, mindfulness teaches you to experience it as a passing emotion, one that will eventually fade. Meditation can also help reduce feelings of anxiety and stress that often accompany loneliness. A simple mindfulness practice involves focusing on your breath. Sit in a comfortable position and pay attention to the sensation of your breath as it enters and leaves your body. Whenever your mind wanders, gently bring your focus back to your breath. Over time, this practice can help you cultivate a sense of calm and presence, even when you feel lonely. 2.5. Building a relationship with yourself. Loneliness often arises when we seek validation or happiness from external sources. However, true fulfillment comes from within. To overcome loneliness, it's important to build a strong, positive relationship with yourself. Spend time doing things you enjoy, whether that's pursuing a hobby, reading a book, or going for a walk. Learn to enjoy your own company and appreciate the moments of solitude. When you develop a sense of inner contentment, you'll find that loneliness has less of a hold on you. Third, building meaningful social connections. While self-acceptance is crucial, humans are social beings, and we all crave connection with others. Loneliness often stems from a lack of meaningful relationships or from relationships that feel shallow or unfulfilling. The next step in overcoming loneliness is to actively work on building deeper, more authentic social connections. 3.1 Start small. Overcoming the fear of rejection. For many people, loneliness is perpetuated by a fear of rejection. This fear can prevent you from reaching out to others, leaving you feeling isolated. To overcome this, it's important to start small and take gradual steps toward building connections. Begin by attending social events or activities where you can meet new people. This could be a community gathering, a class, or a volunteer opportunity. Don't feel pressure to form deep connections immediately. Just focus on showing up and engaging in casual conversations. 3.2 Deepening relationships. Once you've started forming connections, the next step is to deepen them. Surface-level interactions can leave us feeling lonely, even if we're surrounded by people. To create meaningful relationships, you need to be willing to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is the key to building emotional intimacy. Share your thoughts, feelings, and experiences with others, and encourage them to do the same. This doesn't mean you need to share everything with everyone. Choose people who have earned your trust and are willing to reciprocate. By opening up, you create the opportunity for deeper, more fulfilling connections. 3.3 The role of vulnerability in overcoming loneliness. Vulnerability can be scary, especially if you've been hurt or rejected in the past. However, it's a necessary component of authentic relationships. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you're showing others that you trust them, which often leads to stronger, more meaningful bonds. Start by sharing small personal details with someone you trust. Gradually, as the relationship develops, you can share more about your feelings, fears, and dreams. Vulnerability fosters connection, and it's often the antidote to loneliness. 3.4 Finding your community. One of the most effective ways to overcome loneliness is to find a community of like-minded people who share your interests, values, or passions. When you connect with people who resonate with you on a deeper level, you're more likely to form lasting, meaningful relationships. There are countless ways to find your community. Join a club or group. Whether it's a book club, a fitness group, or an art class, joining a group can help you meet people who share your interests. Volunteer. Volunteering for a cause you care about can introduce you to people who share your values and passions. Attend events. From local meetups to online forums, there are plenty of opportunities to meet new people and engage in meaningful conversations. The key is to find a community where you feel a sense of belonging and purpose. When you're part of a supportive community, loneliness becomes less overwhelming. 3.5 Active listening and empathy. Building meaningful relationships isn't just about sharing your own thoughts and feelings. It's also about listening to and empathizing with others. Active listening means being fully present in conversations without distractions or judgments. When you truly listen to someone, you make them feel heard, understood, and valued. Practice active listening by focusing on what the other person is saying rather than planning your response. Ask questions to clarify their thoughts and show that you're genuinely interested in what they have to say. Empathy is about putting yourself in their shoes and understanding their feelings. By cultivating empathy, you create a deeper connection with the people around you. Fourth, navigating loneliness in relationships. Loneliness can be particularly painful when it occurs within a relationship. Whether it's a romantic partnership, a friendship, or a family relationship, feeling emotionally disconnected from someone you care about can lead to deep feelings of isolation. In this chapter, we'll explore how to address and overcome loneliness in relationships. 4.1 Identifying loneliness in relationships. The first step in overcoming loneliness in relationships is recognizing when it's happening. Emotional disconnection can be subtle. It might manifest as a lack of communication, feeling misunderstood, or sensing that your emotional needs aren't being met. Take some time to reflect on your relationships. Are there people in your life with whom you feel emotionally distant? Do you feel lonely even when you're with them? Identifying the signs of loneliness in relationships is the first step toward addressing it. 4.2 Communicating your needs. One of the most effective ways to overcome loneliness in relationships is to communicate your emotional needs. Often people don't realize that you're feeling lonely or disconnected. By expressing your feelings and explaining what you need from the relationship, you can open the door to greater understanding and intimacy. When communicating your needs, it's important to use I statements rather than placing blame on the other person. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try saying, "I feel lonely when we don't talk as much. I'd love to spend more time together and have deeper conversations." 4.3. Rebuilding emotional intimacy. If you're feeling lonely in a relationship, it's possible that the emotional intimacy has eroded over time. Rebuilding emotional intimacy takes effort, but it's worth it to strengthen the connection between you and your loved one. Here are some ways to rebuild emotional intimacy. Spend quality time together. Set aside time to engage in activities that you both enjoy. This could be as simple as going for a walk, cooking a meal together, or having a deep conversation. Share your feelings. Be open and honest about your emotions and encourage your partner or friend to do the same. Vulnerability fosters closeness. Physical touch. Physical affection, such as hugging or holding hands, can help strengthen emotional bonds and alleviate feelings of loneliness. 4.4. Knowing when to let go. In some cases, overcoming loneliness means recognizing when a relationship is no longer healthy or fulfilling. Toxic or one-sided relationships can contribute to feelings of loneliness, even if you're physically close to the person. If a relationship is consistently leaving you feeling drained, unappreciated, or emotionally disconnected, it may be time to reassess whether it's worth continuing. Letting go of a toxic relationship can be difficult, but it's often necessary for your emotional well-being. 4.5. Navigating loneliness in long-distance relationships. Long-distance relationships, whether romantic or platonic, present unique challenges when it comes to overcoming loneliness. The physical distance can make it difficult to feel emotionally connected, but there are strategies you can use to maintain closeness. Regular communication. Make an effort to stay in touch through phone calls, video chats, or messaging apps. Consistent communication can help bridge the physical gap. Plan visits. Whenever possible, plan visits to see each other in person. Even if visits are infrequent, having something to look forward to can alleviate feelings of loneliness. Be honest about your feelings. If you're feeling lonely in a long-distance relationship, it's important to express those feelings to the other person. Open communication is key to maintaining emotional intimacy across the distance. 5th, changing your mindset about loneliness. Our thoughts and beliefs about loneliness play a significant role in how we experience it. By changing your mindset, you can begin to see loneliness not as a negative force, but as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. 5.1. Reframing loneliness as an opportunity for growth. Loneliness is often viewed as something to be avoided at all costs. However, it can also be seen as a valuable opportunity for personal growth. When you're alone, you have the chance to reflect on your life, your values, and your goals. You can use this time to get to know yourself on a deeper level and develop a stronger sense of self. Instead of viewing loneliness as a curse, try reframing it as a gift, an opportunity to connect with yourself and discover what truly makes you happy. This shift in perspective can help alleviate some of the emotional pain associated with loneliness. 5.2. The Stoic approach to loneliness. Stoic philosophy teaches that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. This mindset is particularly helpful when dealing with loneliness. According to the Stoics, loneliness is not inherently good or bad. It's simply a state of being that we can choose to accept or resist. By embracing a Stoic mindset, you can learn to accept loneliness without letting it define you. Instead of dwelling on the absence of connection, focus on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and attitude. This approach can help you feel more empowered in the face of loneliness. 5.3. Cognitive behavioral techniques for shifting negative thoughts. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is a psychological approach that helps individuals change negative thought patterns. When it comes to loneliness, CBT techniques can be used to challenge and reframe the negative thoughts that contribute to feelings of isolation. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "No one cares about me," CBT encourages you to challenge that thought by asking, "Is that really true? What evidence do I have to support this belief?" By questioning your negative thoughts, you can begin to replace them with more positive or neutral thoughts, which can reduce feelings of loneliness. 5.4. Practicing gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool for combating loneliness. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we shift our attention away from what we lack and toward the positive aspects of our lives. Start a daily gratitude practice by writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day. These can be small things, like a warm cup of coffee or a kind gesture from a stranger. Over time, this practice can help shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance, which can alleviate feelings of loneliness. 6th, engaging with the world around you. Loneliness often leads us to withdraw from the world, but the antidote is often found in engagement. By actively involving yourself in your community, hobbies, and the world around you, you can naturally begin to combat feelings of isolation. 6.1. Volunteering, a path to connection and purpose. One of the most effective ways to overcome loneliness is to volunteer your time and energy to a cause you care about. Not only does volunteering give you the opportunity to meet new people, but it also provides a sense of purpose and fulfillment. When you volunteer, you're not just helping others, you're also helping yourself. The act of giving back can boost your mood, reduce stress, and increase feelings of connection. Look for volunteer opportunities in your local community or online, and choose a cause that resonates with you. 6.2. Hobbies and interests. Finding joy and engagement. Pursuing hobbies and interests is another great way to combat loneliness. When you engage in activities you enjoy, you're more likely to meet people who share your passions. Whether it's painting, playing a musical instrument, or hiking, hobbies can provide a sense of fulfillment and connection. If you don't already have a hobby, consider exploring new activities. Attend a class, join a group, or try something you've always been curious about. Engaging in activities you love not only helps you connect with others, but also fosters a sense of accomplishment and joy. 6.3. Physical activity. The psychological and social benefits of exercise. Exercise is not only good for your physical health, but also your mental well-being. Physical activity releases endorphins, which can improve your mood and reduce feelings of loneliness. Additionally, participating in group sports or fitness classes can help you meet new people and build social connections. Consider joining a fitness class, a sports league, or a walking group in your community. The social interaction combined with the physical benefits of exercise can be a powerful tool in combating loneliness. 6.4. Nature is a cure for loneliness. Spending time in nature has been shown to reduce feelings of loneliness and improve overall mental health. Whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the mountains, or simply sitting by a lake, nature has a calming and grounding effect that can help alleviate feelings of isolation. Make it a habit to spend time in nature regularly. Even if you're alone, the beauty and serenity of the natural world can provide a sense of connection to something larger than yourself. 6.5. Engaging with art and culture. Art, music, and culture have the power to connect us to our emotions, to each other, and to the human experience. Attending a concert, visiting a museum, or watching a play can provide a sense of shared experience, even if you're attending alone. Engaging with art and culture can also help you process your feelings of loneliness. Whether it's through creating your own art or appreciating the work of others, artistic expression can be a powerful outlet for emotions. 7th, digital connections in the modern world. In today's digital age, many people turn to the internet for connection. While digital spaces can offer a sense of community, they also have the potential to exacerbate loneliness if not used mindfully. In this chapter, we'll explore how to navigate digital connections in a way that fosters meaningful relationships rather than shallow interactions. 7.1. The pros and cons of social media. Social media has revolutionized the way we connect with others, but it's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter allow us to stay in touch with friends and family even if they're far away. On the other hand, social media can create feelings of inadequacy, envy, and loneliness when we compare our lives to the carefully curated images of others. To use social media in a way that combats loneliness, it's important to be mindful of how it affects your mood. Limit your time on social media and focus on using it to foster genuine connections rather than comparing yourself to others. 7.2. Forming authentic online relationships. While social media can sometimes lead to shallow interactions, There are also many opportunities to form authentic online relationships. Joining online communities centered around your interests or values can help you connect with like-minded people. Look for forums, groups, or social media communities where people share your passions. Whether it's a group for book lovers, fitness enthusiasts, or artists, these online spaces can provide a sense of belonging and connection. The key is to engage in meaningful conversations and focus on building real relationships, even if they're digital. 7.3. Balancing digital and offline connections. While digital connections can be valuable, it's important to strike a balance between online and offline interactions. Too much time spent online can lead to social isolation, so make an effort to engage in face-to-face interactions whenever possible. If you've formed online relationships, consider taking them offline by meeting in person or through video chats. This can help deepen the connection and alleviate feelings of loneliness. 8th, seeking professional help for loneliness. In some cases, loneliness can feel overwhelming, and self-help strategies may not be enough. If loneliness is affecting your mental health or quality of life, it's important to seek professional help. 8.1. When to seek therapy. If your feelings of loneliness have led to depression, anxiety, or other mental health issues, it may be time to seek therapy. A licensed therapist can help you explore the root causes of your loneliness and provide tools to address it. Therapy can be particularly helpful if loneliness has been a long-standing issue or if it's affecting your relationships, work, or daily life. Don't hesitate to reach out for help if you're struggling to cope on your own. 8.2. Therapeutic approaches to loneliness. There are several therapeutic approaches that can be effective in treating loneliness. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT helps individuals identify and challenge negative thought patterns that contribute to loneliness. By changing the way you think about yourself and your relationships, you can begin to form more positive connections. Talk therapy. Traditional talk therapy allows you to explore your feelings of loneliness in a safe, non-judgmental environment. A therapist can help you work through any emotional barriers that may be preventing you from forming connections. Group therapy. Group therapy provides a unique opportunity to connect with others who are experiencing similar feelings of loneliness. In a supportive group setting, you can share your experiences, receive feedback, and build a sense of community. 8.3. The role of support groups. Support groups are another valuable resource for overcoming loneliness. Whether it's a group for people dealing with grief, addiction, or social anxiety, support groups provide a safe space to connect with others who understand what you're going through. Look for local or online support groups that align with your experiences. Being part of a supportive community can help reduce feelings of isolation and provide a sense of belonging. Loneliness is a complex and deeply personal experience, but it's not a permanent state. By understanding its roots, embracing self-acceptance, building meaningful connections, and shifting your mindset, you can begin to overcome loneliness and create a life filled with connection, purpose, and fulfillment. Powerful call to action. Remember, you don't have to face loneliness alone. Take the first step today by applying the strategies we've discussed. Reach out to a friend, join a new community, or spend time reflecting on your personal growth. Every small action counts. If this video has resonated with you, please subscribe, like, and share it with others who may be feeling the same way. Together, we can build a community of support and encouragement. You are not alone. Let's overcome loneliness and live a life filled with connection and purpose.